Earth has not anything to show more fair. Dull would he be of soul who could pass by a sight so touching in its majesty. This city now doth like a garment wear the beauty of the morning. Silent, bare, ships, towers, domes, theatres and temples lie, open unto the fields and to the sky. All bright and glittering in the smokeless air, never did sun more beautifully steep in its first splendour valley, rock or hill. Ne'er saw I, never felt a calm so deep. The river glideth at its own sweet will. Dear God, the very houses seem asleep, and all that mighty heart is lying still. Hello, and welcome to this Oak Tree English tribute to William Wordsworth's life and poetry. He was born on the 7th of April, the date of this video's release, to the lawyer John and Anne Wordsworth in 1770 in Cockermouth in Cumbria. He rose to become poet laureate, a founder of a whole school of poetry, the Romantic Age, and have 3 of his poems voted into the nation's favourite poems. We've just heard Composed upon Westminster Bridge, ranked at number 24, but at either end of the spectrum are Daffodils at number 5, and at number 99 is The Prelude, which is an autobiographical work published after his death, and it's very long, so I will give only a sampler of it here. This is the first part. Was it for this that one, the fairest of all rivers, loved to blend his murmurs with my nurse's song, and from his alder shades and rocky falls, and from his fords and shallows, sent a voice that flowed along my dreams? For this didst thou, O Derwent, travelling over the green plains near my sweet birthplace, didst thou, beauteous stream, make ceaseless music through the night and day, which, with its steady cadence tempering our human waywardness, composed my thoughts to more than infant softness, giving me, among the fretful dwellings of mankind, a knowledge, a dim earnest of the calm that nature breathes among the hills and groves, when, having left his mountains, to the towers of Cockermouth that beauteous river came. Behind my father's house he passed close by, along the margin of our terraced walk. He was a playmate whom we dearly loved. Oh, many a time have I, a 5 years' child, a naked boy in one delightful rill, a little mill race, severed from his stream, made one long bathing of a summer's day, basked in the sun, and plunged and basked again, alternate all a summer's day, or coursed over the sandy fields, leaping through groves of yellow grunsel, or, when a crag and hill, the woods and distant Skiddaws' lofty height, were bronzed with a deep radiance, stood alone, beneath the sky, as if I had been born on Indian plains, and from my mother's hut had run abroad in wantonness to sport, a naked savage in the thunder shower. After his childhood and school, Wordsworth became entranced with the idea of Republican France, and even spent some time among the horrors and subjective glory of revolutionary Paris. While there, he met and fell in love with Annette Vallon. With her, he fathered a daughter, Caroline, but the tides of war forced them apart, and he didn't meet her, Caroline, until she was 9 years old, whereafter he wrote this sonnet about the meeting. It is a beauteous evening, calm and free. The holy time is quiet as a nun, breathless with adoration. The broad sun is sinking down in its tranquillity. The gentleness of heaven broods o'er the sea. Listen, the mighty being is awake, and doth with his eternal motion make a sound like thunder everlastingly. Dear child, dear girl, that walkest with me here, if thou appear untouched by solemn thought, thy nature is not therefore less divine. Thou liest in Abraham's bosom all the year, and worshipst at the temple's inner shrine, God being with thee when we know it not. His visit to Calais was also to advise Annette of his forthcoming nuptials with his childhood friend, Mary Hutchinson. Those two were married for 48 years and had 5 children. A collection of love letters between the two are still extant, but one of the most enduring tributes to Mary is the poem, She Was a Phantom of Delight. She was a phantom of delight, when first she gleamed upon my sight, a lovely apparition sent to be a moment's ornament. Her eyes as stars of twilight fair, like twilight's too her dusky hair, but all things else about her drawn from Maytime and the cheerful dawn, a dancing shape, an image gay, to haunt, to startle, and waylay. I saw her upon nearer view, a spirit, yet a woman too. Her household motions light and free, and steps of virgin liberty, a countenance in which did meet sweet records, promises as sweet, a creature not too bright or good for human nature's daily food, for transient sorrows, simple wiles, praise, blame, love, kisses, tears and smiles. And now I see, with eye serene, the very pulse of the machine, a being breathing thoughtful breath, a traveller between life and death, the reason firm, the temperate will, endurance, foresight, strength and skill, a perfect woman, nobly planned, to warn, to comfort and command, and yet a spirit still and bright, with something of angelic light. William, Mary and Dorothy Wordsworth, the poet's beloved sister and Mary's firm friend, lived together in the Lake District. Dove Cottage in Grasmere is still well visited by thousands of people each year. Here he had fellowship with Samuel Taylor Coleridge and Robert Southey, who, with a few others, including Dorothy, became known as the Lake Poets. The Lake District inspired many of his more pastoral poems, notably his most famous and beloved work, The Daffodils. I wandered lonely as a cloud that floats on high o'er vales and hills, when all at once I saw a crowd, a host of golden daffodils, beside the lake, beneath the trees, fluttering and dancing in the breeze. Continuous as the stars that shine and twinkle on the Milky Way, they stretched in never-ending line along the margin of a bay. 10,000 saw I at a glance, tossing their heads in sprightly dance. The waves beside them danced, but they outdid the sparkling waves in glee. A poet could not but be gay in such a jocund company. I gazed and gazed, but little thought what wealth the show to me had brought. For oft, when on my couch I lie, in vacant or in pensive mood, they flash upon that inward eye, which is the bliss of solitude. And then my heart with pleasure fills, and dances with the daffodils. Wordsworth died at Rydal Mount in Cumbria at the age of 80. Unlike his friend Coleridge, and despite his revolutionary republican ideology, he never lost his Christian faith. So death had lost its sting. The Romantic poets were intimately connected with tranquility and nature. Thus it seems very fitting that we should end this journey into Wordsworth's life with a poem which contains one of his idiomatic contributions to the English language and a description of his emotion at the sight of a rainbow. My heart leaps up when I behold a rainbow in the sky. So it was when my life began. So it is now I am a man. So let it be when I shall grow old, or let me die. The child is the father of the man, and I could wish my days to be bound each to each by natural piety. Thank you for joining me in this hike into Wordsworth country. I hope you've enjoyed it and perhaps even learnt something interesting, which will help you in a quiz one day. If you would like to see more of these types of videos, I humbly invite you to like, subscribe and turn on notifications to Oak Tree English. Until next time, goodbye.